Welcome to today's episode of Protea Conversations. Today we're with Candice on episode 4. Candice, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Candice Stevens.
Candice, where are you based?
I am based in Nevada, California, in the United States.
Great, so that's where our office is as well. So in the current area. What is your role at Protea Financial?
I am a senior account manager at Protea Financial.
Great. What actually is a senior account manager? What is the definition of your role?
It's very similar to an account manager. It's just a more senior level. So I have a little more responsibility and I still have a number of clients I'm involved with a little more for the company as well. I think that's the only difference.
Okay, you say you're involved in a little bit more. Is there any part of your job of that a little bit more that you really enjoy?
Yes, I am the community committee in the US, and then I also help out with the South African community committee as well. And we help various charities, organizations that do good for the communities. So at the moment, we are busy buying school supplies for the Marin Foster Care Association. So we are buying crayons, markers, pencils, backpacks with the budget, and we will deliver $750 worth of goods to children who need it.
That's just fantastic. I mean, the foster care society and just in foster care kids in general definitely need a lot of support. So that is a really great initiative. My understanding that initiative is under the umbrella of Mandela Day.
Exactly. So this initiative that we are doing is for Mandela Day, and normally we would try and be more involved with people actually doing things, giving their time, the 67 minutes. And unfortunately with COVID, even though in California things are a lot better, we just want to be a little more cautious, and also for the organizations that we're helping, we also want to be cautious for their sake. And so this year, once again, we are giving goods instead of our time, but that's what they need, and they are very grateful for it.
Great. What initiative are we sort of doing down in South Africa? What is the committee there working on?
In South Africa, we are going to be providing resources for a gender-based violence home for women who have been in harmful situations. And so we had hoped to do care packages for them. They give you a list of items that they need. Unfortunately, with the COVID situation in South Africa, we can't be in person going to the store and buying things and then delivering it. So we will be doing a cash donation.
Great, really both just fantastic initiatives. And, with both cases, it makes total sense to sort of stay away. The foster kids, obviously, a lot of them under 12. So we need to try to protect them as much as possible, but delivering goods is great. And obviously the situation in South Africa at the moment isn't ideal. So the cash donation, though less than ideal, it's still going to be super helpful for that organization. I'm sure they'll be super grateful about that.
Yes, we've been very fortunate with all the organizations we've helped. Each one has been in their own way very grateful for everything that we've been able to contribute or do. We've surprised ourselves in some of our initiatives as well. Last month, the South African team managed a clothing drive for a Walmart church. So I think that they sell things and they help people who don't have money to get things at a more affordable rate. And so we gathered, I can't remember what the amount was. Was it 1,100 kilograms of clothing?
It was a lot.
I hope I'm right in my numbers.
Yeah, I mean, the team really showed up for that one, and I know the organization itself was super thankful, and we know that's going to help a lot on that side. And it's just another one of those really great initiatives, and the team stepping up. And I think yourself as well as the community committee in general can be really, really proud.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm very proud of the team in South Africa. They're doing a fantastic job.
At Protea, one of our values is giving back, and I think everybody sort of bought into that one a lot. And it's been great to see the evolution of the committee over the years. And this year, under trying circumstances, I think we're doing a really, really great job.
Yes, and I'm extremely grateful for all the ideas that are coming through. It's so wonderful to come through. Every year we have a new committee and we get new ideas, which are amazing.
Spreading the love. So you've got a little bit of a unique story on the way you got to Protea. For those who don't know, we are married. So you have the wonderful good fortune, bad luck of having to deal with me on a work basis as well as a personal basis. So can you sort of, the dates are a little shaky, and I know we try to figure that one out and it's not exactly clear, but can you sort of just walk us through how you got to Protea? Let's start with your last position in South Africa.
Sure. So in South Africa, I was financial manager for Mulderbosch Vineyards and Austin Scott Farms, which is in Stellenbosch, South Africa as well. And they were owned by an American company, Terroir Capital. So I was a financial manager for their South African operations. And Alex Pagan and Aaron Faust, they started their own company in California, which was back in 2013. And they asked me to come over to be their CFO, and made the decision very quickly to do so. And everything kind of happened very quickly after that.
So on the very quickly, what are we talking, 3-4 minutes? Is that sort of about right? Maybe a little longer?
So the story goes that Alex told me on a call, I think it was like 4 o'clock on a Thursday or Friday afternoon, about the situation that we were ready to get me over and start the visa process. And I was like, great, well, I'm ready. And you walked past the door as I was agreeing to it. So might have been 2 minutes.
It made a lot of sense at the time. We had nothing tying us down. So I think it all worked out well. So you started in the US around 2013 then. Protea was formed in 2014. How did that sort of transition from Third Leaf Partners to Protea happen?
It was a very gradual change. I moved into Protea full-time last June or July, I believe. And prior to that, I can see that I had a Protea email address from 2015. And then I can see some stuff happening back in March 2017 with me and Protea. So I don't actually have concrete dates for you. I think everything was just a gradual process of me moving in to Protea Financial.
Yeah, definitely sort of a situation where you were helping out in a lot of projects that sort of made natural transitions to be in Protea rather than under the umbrella of 13 partners. And eventually through conversations and negotiations, I was able to bring you into Protea, first in the role as CFO, and then from the beginning of this year, obviously stepping away from that role to be more client focused, which we're really, really happy about. And I know your clients specifically are really happy about having more Candice time for them. How do you feel about that transition from having to sort of be in the business to being more client focused?
It is an interesting one, and one that I was. So what I dread most is change, because I feel like you never know what change is, or you never know. I'm not one who thinks that the grass is greener on the other side. I'd like to know what is on my side and what's going on. So it was, but I was concerned about the change, but when it happened, it's been nice. I mean, I've been out of wine, like proper costing and things of wine for a long time. I have had projects that have costing of wine, but it's been a good maybe 2 or 3 years where I've been involved in a costing. So, and that's only because my clients were purchasing finished stock. So it's been an interesting one, but it's been great to be back in it with clients. And helping them out and getting positive feedback has been wonderful.
I'm glad you feel that way, because we're really happy to have you in that role. And like I said, the clients are just rave about you. So that is all fantastic as well. So tell us, in terms of your role, other than the community committee, what is the favorite part of your job?
I was going to say the community committee. I enjoy the team vibe, and we had a recent virtual game night with both the US side and South Africa, and that was just super enjoyable. I'm very excited about the trivia that's coming up. All these team aspects of things, it's wonderful. I built relationships back in when we visited. When was that? Was that 2018? Probably earlier, maybe 2017. No, Scott was a child, so baby. So it must have been, 2018. So I built some relationships without even meeting anybody, and they've grown into people that I really enjoy speaking to and checking in with. And even though I don't work with some of these people anymore, I still enjoy when I get an email from them or check in with them. And it is a family. It's hard to describe. I enjoy that I can ask people about their family, and that's when we have our monthly calls, or I can just check in with them about their family. And that means a lot to me. I'm not all about just getting the work done. I think it's important that you're able to form a relationship with somebody that you're working with. And it's otherwise it's just you don't bond and you can't form a working relationship. So that part for me is great, because I know that you encourage that. And the other part of my job that I enjoy is when clients are grateful for the output. So someone's saying recently, we haven't had such good financials before. And it's nice to get that right for the clients and to get that feedback. It's nice to know that they value your output and it's helping their business make decisions.
The recognition from clients is so important, and it doesn't always come, which is can be frustrating at times. But I think we know that we add value to all of them, but it's nice to hear from them as well. You sort of touched on the team vibe, which is really interesting, seeing that we are fully remote, and most people would think fully remote means you can't make those connections. And I've experienced a lot of this through the pandemic with networking calls, where can't wait to get back in person. Only way you can make real connections. But you seem to be very contrary to that. And though I know you enjoy in-person connections, the whole environment that we've built at Protea seems to be in the way that doesn't matter where we are, we're all really well connected and we're able to create relationships. Is that a fair way of putting it?
Yes, I think that when I have a call with people, I will ask them about themselves, ask them about their family, ask them how they're doing. And we've slowly built on from, the few words that we've had to a point where I will know, in most cases, I'll know their children's names. Sometimes I'll know their spouse's names. And it's not hard to do when you're interested. So it's nice because they will ask me about my family, even though they speak to you more than they speak to me, they'll still ask about my family. And that is a meaningful connection that you make with people.
Yeah, and meaningful connections means you're able to communicate better, which means better teamwork, which means better output. So that's all really interesting to hear. So last question for you. Can you give us one piece of advice that now, but you wish you knew earlier in your career that might have made a big difference to your career trajectory?
I think the key takeaway for me is working with you on Protea Financial's accounting, and you making it very clear that you don't have to get to the 100% answer. Getting to the 90-10 or 95-5 is good enough. I'm not saying that that's okay in every client or every industry, but there is a fine line between being big picture driven and getting the right answer. It's hard for some people to get that right, and you can drive yourself into a hole if you're trying to get everything right all the time when it's not absolutely necessary. So having that 95-5 rule is something that I wish I had taken with me sooner.
It's the 80-20 rule, and when you go 80-20 and the 80-20 of the 80-20 and the 80-20 of that 80-20, you
Well,
can
I don't know
realize,
if I would be sitting in my position if I went 80-20 though.
yeah, I mean, the 80-20 rule is more about 80% of your time, is going to give you 20% of the result, where 20% of your time is going to give you 80% of the result. And I think at some point you reach that ending point, and in accounting specifically, you can get really close to perfect, but any fresh set of eyes is going to come in and give you a totally different perspective and a totally different view of it. So I sometimes wonder if perfect exists in an accounting world, and sometimes being okay with 95 or 99%, like it's sometimes that's what it just has to be, and it's just not worth like digging in for the rest of it.
Agreed. That's why I said it's a fine line, because it's sometimes people just don't know when to stop. And so keeping that big picture in mind is really important.
Candice, thank you so much for your time today. It was really nice to sort of learn a little bit more about you, have you share some of your thoughts about Protea, as well as the community committee, which was great to hear about.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope I wasn't too much of a robot.